be your second sleeper pick here?
So this is a guy early on I kind of talked about in our very first episode with New Homes, and this was a guy that instantly when he got signed on the new team, I was like I'm going to draft him in the 15th round as my
This is
last
the
pick.
ultimate sleeper, ladies and gentlemen,
The,
by the way.
the ultimate sleeper pick, and I love guys like this that are just like they're so talented, and they just end up in a great position where like there's no one else there. So this Trent Sherfield in Buffalo, and Gabe Davis has just been so subpar compared to what Diggs is doing on the other side, and they're desperate, desperate for a number 2 receiver there.
Yeah.
And I don't think Sherfield is going to be like wide receiver 2, but this is a guy that no one's even going to touch. No one's going to touch him there.
No, he's ADP 360 something.
Yeah. I mean,
which is funny because, and that's overall, but it's funny because he still was wide receiver 84. He's still within the top 100 receivers in the NFL, and he was on Miami last year.
Yeah.
Where he was just kind of just shoved to the side.
Yeah. I mean, he's playing behind 2 great, like he's not going to get any playing time there. He's behind 2 great receivers. So going to a team where they want production out of that wide receiver 2 position, or at least a wide receiver 3 position.
They receiver 3 because McKenzie was not unreliable. He couldn't be healthy last year.
Right They're
away,
just desperate for another pass catcher there.
Yeah.
So they go and get Dalton Kincaid, and I think people think that Kincaid and Knox are going to just all of a sudden be the 1,000-yard receiving tight ends, and they're, mark my words, they're not. But I think Sherfield is a guy that, like, again, you can pick him up off the waiver wire in week 1. You guys can wait and see to see what if he ends up being valuable. But this is also a guy you can go and draft before everyone in the 15th round as your last pick, and have on your team, and then you have him solidified the entire season. This is again a deep sleeper where this is a guy that I'd be willing to throw a dart blindly, and know that I'm gonna hit the board somewhere with this guy, because I think he is going to produce there. Like I said, that there's a need for it in a team that loves to throw the ball and loves to throw the ball deep. Now this is also, if D-Hop goes there, throw this pick out the window.
Yeah.
But if D-Hop doesn't go to Buffalo, I think there's a door open that has just this massive hole in it on they need production out of a number 2 receiver, and if Diggs can't do everything. And I think Diggs last year started getting frustrated because he was doing everything, and he's getting double covered, and Gabe Davis was not producing, and Isaiah McKenzie was not producing, and Cole, whoever else that they had there.
Well, I'd say Gabe Davis wasn't producing what they expected based on the end of his 2021 campaign.
Right, and everyone thought that he was going to come in there and be this great number 2 receiver, and he was drafted in the third and fourth rounds last year, and just didn't have those kind of numbers at the end of the season because he was just so wildly inconsistent. And
he played 16 games, so he missed a game. He had 48 receptions only on 93 targets. Like, catch more balls, buddy. But he still had a 17 yards per catch. Sherfield that can do the same thing. Gabe Davis had 7 touchdowns last year, which helped put him as wide receiver 24. That's the only thing that kept him wide receiver 24.
Yeah, so. and Sherfield's numbers are not going to jump off the books at you. I think he only had 2 or 3 touchdowns last season, only about 240 yards or 300 yards receiving last year. But he was, again,
go look at the video. Go look at his plays. Go look at the highlight of last year.
Those plays where he made them, and he's a great receiver that can get open against top coverage too. Like, a lot of those plays were, against the Jets or the Patriots, and he's making plays in those games, especially when you have guys on the outside that are getting covered and locked up. Like, he's a guy at least at the number 3 wide receiver position that can produce. So again, this is a guy that's not going to get drafted, and if you guys want to wait and see, I would be willing to bet $1 or $2, based on the return that I would get, that he's going to end up producing in the first 3 weeks of the season and have a very good season with Buffalo. So